Most people imagine they are the main character in an action movie when the world goes to hell. The reality is that you are almost certainly the background extra who gets bitten before the title sequence even rolls. The statistics are grim because human biology is not wired for sudden, catastrophic societal collapse. You think you would grab a bag and head for the hills, but your brain is wired for normalcy bias. This is a cognitive phenomenon where people underestimate both the likelihood of a disaster and its potential impact. When the first sirens wail, you won't be running. You will be checking your phone, waiting for a push notification to tell you it's just a false alarm. History shows us exactly how fragile our interconnected existence is. Look at the 2003 Northeast blackout. It lasted only 2 days and affected 50 million people. Within 12 hours, grocery stores were empty. Within 24, looting was widespread, and that was without a walking, biting contagion hunting you down. Now, imagine that same scenario, but instead of the lights coming back on, the person next to you starts trying to eat your carotid artery. The day one failure happens because of three specific systems: the grocery supply chain, the psychological shock, and the physical dependence on infrastructure. Let's start with the grocery store. You have 3 days of food in your pantry on a good day. Most Americans visit a supermarket 1.5 times per week. Our food system operates on a just-in-time delivery model. It's efficient, it's profitable, and it's incredibly brittle. There is no warehouse of surplus food sitting behind your local Walmart. If the trucks stop running, the shelves are empty in less than 48 hours. If the zombies show up, they are empty in 20 minutes. If you head to the store during the initial panic, you aren't a survivor. You are a target in a concentrated zone of high-density chaos. Then there is the issue of adrenaline. In a moment of acute stress, your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for logical planning, shuts down. Your amygdala takes over. This is the fight or flight response. You will likely do one of three things: freeze, panic run, or fight indiscriminately. None of these are tactical decisions. High-stress training, like that given to Navy SEALs or SWAT teams, exists specifically to override these biological impulses. You have not had that training. You will lose your keys, you will forget your water bottle, and you will make noise when you should be silent. Noise is the silent killer. In a modern city, you are constantly surrounded by sound. We are conditioned to ignore it. But in a zombie scenario, sound is a lighthouse for predators. A single car alarm, a barking dog, or a glass door shattering can be heard from 3 blocks away in the middle of the night. You don't have the discipline to move silently. You walk with heavy heels, you drag your feet, you talk in a normal volume. You are essentially ringing a dinner bell for every infected entity within a half-mile radius. Consider the medical dependency of the modern population. Over 60% of adults in the United States have at least one chronic condition. If you need insulin, blood pressure medication, or antidepressants, your apocalypse isn't just measured in zombies, it's measured in days before your withdrawal symptoms kick in. The pharmacy won't be open. The supply chain for your life-saving medication is more fragile than the power grid. If you can't see without your glasses, or if you can't walk without your inhaler, your day one is already a countdown to a quiet end. Communication is the final nail in the coffin. We live in an age of instant gratification. We expect information to be available in milliseconds. When the cell towers go down or when the internet grid fails, which usually happens the moment the power fluctuates, the sudden silence will break your mind. Without the ability to check social media or call your family, you will make impulsive, irrational decisions based on fear and rumors. You will try to head home or cross town to reach your loved ones. This is the single deadliest mistake you can make. The roads will be jammed with abandoned vehicles. You will be sitting in a 2-ton metal coffin in the middle of a gridlock, surrounded by people who are just as terrified and desperate as you are. By the time the sun sets on the first day, the cities will be death traps. The people who survived the first wave are the ones who were already remote, who already had supplies, and who already had the mental capacity to stay exactly where they were. They aren't survivors in the sense of fighting off hordes. They are survivors because they were invisible. You don't need a sword, a tactical vest, or a stockpile of ammunition to survive day one. You need the ability to sit still, stay quiet, and accept that the life you knew is gone forever. Most of us are too attached to our comforts to let go that quickly. We are too soft, too distracted, and too dependent on the invisible threads that keep our society humming. The zombie apocalypse isn't a test of your combat skills, it's a test of your ability to abandon your humanity for the sake of biological persistence. Ask yourself honestly, are you willing to lock the door while you hear your neighbor screaming for help, knowing that opening it means your certain death? Because if you hesitate for even a second, you've already lost. The end of the world won't be a dramatic standoff at the gates of a fortified base. It will be a quiet, panicked realization in your own kitchen when you turn the faucet and nothing comes out. The real question isn't whether you can survive the zombies, it's whether you can survive the version of yourself that emerges when all the lights go out.